It's spooky season! Woo!
Yep, sure is, Drew. So we decided to grab a handful of tools and answer the most important question of October. What is the best tool for carving pumpkins?
We've got 5 contenders, and they all have their perks to hacking up our round little buddies. Some of these may be way too powerful for the job, but that's half the fun, right?
Of course. The point is, we want you to know that there is an easier way to get the job done while looking super cool to the trick-or-treaters, flinging pumpkin bits all over the place. We used all 5 tools to create these masterpieces you see in front of us. First up on the list is the eye hole maker, the bimetal hole saw. I'm fairly certain you all have a pilot bit and a hole saw in your toolbox. How did it do for carving cool pumpkins? Look, I'm a traditional guy that likes making jack-o'-lanterns. Using a hole saw for the eyes made it the GOAT in that department, or should I say, ghost.
This was the smoothest, cleanest, and definitely the most satisfying tool of the day. Just attach it to your drill, pull the trigger, and boom, pumpkin donuts.
Oh my god, that sounds delicious right now. But yeah, perfect tools for candles or string lights. This is your go-to. Quick, clean, and minimal mess. Lots of options here, but obviously the hole saw is good to make, well, a hole.
These are, of course, designed for way tougher jobs, cutting holes in wood doors or junction boxes, but for pumpkins, it's 5 stars for the fastest pumpkin circle carving option. Next up, the handheld drywall cutout tool, aka the Rotozip. Most brands have a version of this tool, and we've learned that this thing is very nifty for the artists out there. Tiny lines, detailed shapes, all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, if you're the I spent 6 hours on this pumpkin kind of person, this one's for you. The bits are for routing out drywall, and it's pretty much the same in a pumpkin. Full control of your lines and cutting all the way through.
Most spin up to 25,000 RPM, so on pumpkins, it's like drawing with a lightning bolt.
Now I will say I felt in control, but it's not as smooth as drywall cutting. You do hit some tough spots on the pumpkin, but just apply a little pressure and it goes through no problem. Just don't put too much weight on it, you'll end up with something a bit more on the abstract side. And speaking of abstract, this one got out of hand, and hindsight being 2020, a hacksaw or a jigsaw probably would have made more sense instead of a giant recip saw.
Yeah, calling this a carving tool is a stretch. This is more like Demolition Pumpkin Edition. Think Texas Chainsaw, but you know, with the reciprocating saw and pumpkins.
Indeed. We threw on a double-sided spider blade with a plunge tip. Absolutely demolished everything we tried to do. These two used it for detail work. I used it to clean off the gunk while spraying the cameraman with all the pumpkin guts.
It's fast, powerful, and if you don't care how your pumpkin looks, just that it dies dramatically in a pool of its guts splattered everywhere, this would be a great choice.
I guess just in general, don't use the Recip Saw for detail work. It's a pretty good rule of thumb there, pumpkins or otherwise. Your Recip Saw is used for cutting studs, pipes, demolition, or even rescue work, but today, it was saving no one.
Maybe if you were carving one of those 2,000-pound monsters from the pumpkin show, it would make sense. If you want to give it a go, just make sure you've got a good grip, and maybe a tarp. Lots of pumpkin carnage.
My favorite tool of the bunch was the Oscillating Multi-Tool. It was perfect.
Controlled, precise, and surprisingly smooth, you can carve, shape, and even do fine lines without tearing the pumpkin apart.
It's called a multi-tool for a reason. It can cut, sand, scrape, or grind depending on the attachment. We used a fine cutting blade and it glided through like a dream. Grab up all the different sizes and carve out the best looking pumpkin to be smashed by a punk kid later that same night. And you spend all this time watching cameras trying to identify them and you can't really make them out, and you start accusing neighbors and their kids are punks, and then you pick fights. Everything just starts spiraling with madness, trying to figure out how to get revenge on who ruined your perfect Halloween.
Okay. Anyway, it's basically the Swiss Army knife of power tools. If you want one tool that is very versatile, even for pumpkin carving, this is the one. And finally, the good old jab saw, the classic. No batteries, no cords, just elbow grease.
It's a knife.
No, it's not just a knife, Nick. It's traditional pumpkin carving. Simple cuts, quick openings, and a lot more control than the power tools. It's basically a drywall saw, pointed tip, coarse teeth, made for quick access cuts. But on pumpkins, it feels nostalgic.
You get a workout too, and apparently a great stress reliever for some of us.
So, we've tested 5 tools. Some made art, some made chaos, but all carved pumpkins in their own way.
The hole saw was clean, the router was artistic, the Recip Saw was a massacre, the multi-tool was precise,
And the jab saw? Old school reliable. Now, it's your turn. Which pumpkin are you voting for? Would you go for a power tool or a hand tool? Drop your pick in the comments and tell us what you've used to carve pumpkins before. Bonus points if you share photos of your creations. We might even feature our favorites on our social media.
Our social media account?
Our social media account.
What a dream. Obviously, mine is the best, which is this one.
No.
There's really no competition. And of course, for all the tools you saw today, you know where to get them. OhioPowerTool.com.
Happy Halloween. Stay safe and carve responsibly.
And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding that bell so you're always first to hear about the latest drops.
Thanks for watching.
Stay productive.
Stay ahead.
And always trust Ohio Power Tool for your next big job.